Welcome to Quindecum. I must ask you to play a game with me. The stakes of this game are very high indeed. Your life, in fact. If you like and subscribe, you win the game. Let's begin. Thanks for the support, everybody. This is Maslow Life. Today we're reviewing Death Parade. Death Parade is a 12-episode series by Studio Madhouse, who has an extensive resume in anime. Very long. They've made a lot of animes, and this one is a keeper. This one is pretty good. That's why I'm choosing to review it, because I'm going to focus on animes that are good for you guys. Death Parade is an episodic series, meaning every episode is a different story. There is kind of an overarching story or narrative that progresses throughout the 12 episodes, but mainly each individual episode is about a different set of characters. The story is as follows. In this world, when people die, they are sent to be judged. They're sent to a parallel world where they encounter an arbiter. The purpose of an arbiter is to judge that person's soul and decide whether or not they're going to be reincarnated or their soul is going to be sent into the void. Basically, this whole show is about people undergoing judgment after they've died. And we get to witness that judgment. We get to come along for the ride. But it's not like being in court. Oh, no. It's quite different. Arbiters use special games to judge human beings. Usually one of the consequences of these games is causing physical pain to another human being. So by winning the game, you're actually inflicting pain on someone. Arbiters use these kinds of games to judge people. We have games like darts, we have games like bowling, but the psychological twist is the physical pain that the people are feeling while playing this game. Also, another psychological twist is the fact that they're being judged. Usually as the games start out, they don't know they're being judged, and they slowly gain information as the game progresses. Our show focuses on one particular arbiter, Decum. He runs a kind of European-style bar in the afterlife called Quindecum. This is where he passes his judgments. Right off the bat, I'm going to say I really like the concept of this story a lot. Sometimes with these psychological thrillers, I feel like the story or the themes that are presented are just too corny and too cheesy, and I can't really get into the deep, dark psychological aspects. This show's a little different because it deals with concepts like death, concepts like regret, the afterlife, really deep concepts. So I was intrigued by right off the get-go, from the start. I was really intrigued. What the show is able to do with this simple concept is pretty cool as well. The stories of these dead people who visit Quindecum and are judged are really fantastic. You really get a feel for these characters. You really you get to know them. Their whole story is built up and it's really rich, and you feel like you've almost lived their lives, and you become really empathetic towards them. A lot of the characters in the show have done some pretty horrible things, but by the end of the episode, we always end up understanding the character. We get a bigger understanding of who the character is and why they did all those bad things in their life. Story is fantastic. The animation looks pretty darn good. There's not really a lot happening in the show, like there's not a lot of movement sometimes, but they do have certain scenes, certain sequences that they animate really well. Like they'll do something really simple like throwing a dart. They'll animate that like really well, and they'll have like the dart's point of view, and they'll have the camera rotating, and they'll do a lot of different things with like perspective to really dramatize certain scenes, even if there's not really a lot of movement going on in that scene. There were a couple of action scenes in the show as well, and those were too short, actually. They were also done well, but I would have liked to see them be a little bit longer. They're only like 45 seconds a piece, so. The show has kind of like a dark, mysterious atmosphere, and the way it's animated, the way they chose to animate it with the colors, it really looks almost otherworldly. It's pretty cool. The whole outlay of the bar of Quindecum, it just looks really sweet. Let's talk about the sound. Now this is one of those occasions where the dub is actually better than the sub. I recommend watching the dub. I watched about 3 episodes of the sub and then I switched to the dub and I didn't go back. In the original Japanese version, the voices are a little bit too over the top. It doesn't really suit the whole feel of the show, which is kind of like dark and brooding. The English voice actors are on point, especially Deckham. Whoever voiced Deckham was really good. His voice is like really deep and resonant, and Deckham is kind of supposed to be like this robotic type character, so he has the like low but soothing monotone kind of voice. I just really liked Deckham's voice actor especially. So basically watch the dub if you get the opportunity. Characters. Let's get to the characters. Now our 2 main characters are our arbiter, Deckham, and another human who's sent down for judgment named Chiyuki. These characters were pretty good. I liked Deckham a little bit more than Chiyuki, but one thing about Chiyuki that I really liked is that she was just a regular girl. She was just like kind of bland, and it really went with the vibe of the show. Like she wasn't like, you know, overly animated and all done up and stuff, and there was no fan service. She was just a regular girl, really relatable, so I really liked that about her. But I thought Deckham was a little bit stronger, and they kind of finished the whole character development at the very last episode, but the last episode was a little bit weak. I didn't find it to be a very strong ending. That's one disappointing thing I can say about this show. But their character development up until that point, till about episode 11, really good, really interesting. One thing that was really disappointing is we have a lot of minor characters or supporting characters who don't get a lot of screen time. I really wanted to see more of them. Like, Castra is so cool, the way she's like always wearing that skull, and she has some sort of like spiritual computer she's always typing on. Castra just like looked really cool to me. She seemed like such a sweet character, and I wish that she would have appeared more. We barely got to see her. Nona as well. We get to see quite a bit of Nona, but there's like kind of a storyline that's going on during the 12 episodes that slowly progresses. But it doesn't really progress anywhere too meaningful. Like, I kind of wish that Nona would have got into more drama in the show. I would have liked to see more of her. And Oculus, oh my god, Oculus is one of the creepiest dudes I've ever seen. I wish they would have had more of him, and I wish they would have made him into more of a villain, because he's so creepy. His beard and his like man bun, his like little ponytail thing, they're like alive and they like pulsate and do all these weird things. Ugh, freaky. Wanted to see more of him, wanted to see him do some really evil fucked up shit, but they kinda lead you on a little bit. They make it seem like he's gonna be more of a villain than he actually is. Overall, all these elements of the show kind of just solidified really well. They all came together and you just get like a really dark kind of atmosphere. The music. I almost forgot to talk about the music, which is actually one of the best parts about the show. It has a really nice jazz soundtrack, and it's mostly just one instrument, just a single piano. But it really sets the mood really well. It makes you feel like you're almost in a jazz bar, but the music, exceptional. The opening theme was also really good. It has a really catchy song, and the bass line on this song is just phenomenal.
Everybody, put your hands up, softly lighting,
I never skip the intro because I really enjoyed watching it. The animation's good, the song is good, and that bass line is just wicked. The outro song was a little bit weak. However, if you do watch the show and you decide to skip or not watch the outro, make sure you watch like the last 30 to 45 seconds of the show, because they always have like a little bit of clip left after the outro, after all the credits are done, so make sure you don't skip that because it does really add to the story. So, this is an anime I would recommend, especially if you like dark psychological thrillers like I do. Overall, I would give this a medium to high recommendation. If the concepts I've discussed sound interesting to you, then definitely give it a watch. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. This is Maslow, signing out.